Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back, hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network. Pete Gray here, Rock Cod Rick Max is here too, in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup, right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma. And we have a great guy, turned to pace a little bit for us today, a former long range and local captain here, and now commercial albacore and crab fisherman, Captain Aaron Barnhill, and just having a lot of fun learning a lot about this fishery that he's in, and a great time. And if you want to join us, phones have been packed up. They're full now, but keep on trying. 833-288-0973. And of course, you have that text option too. You download the Let's Talk Hookup app, which is free in the Google Play or the App Store. And you can text us and text your question, and we can't reply to the text, but we'll take as many as we can, get them in the show, and that certainly adds a lot. And we sure appreciate everybody that's been a part of the text too. And of course, if you're a caller, one lucky caller today is going to win a full day trip on the San Diego out of C4 Sport Fishing. So that's going to be a good time, and it's just a great show. And it's time for the Catch Report. And the Catch Report today is sponsored in part by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Hey, Sean has extended his tackle day deals here for you. And Ricky, I mean, these deals are pretty amazing.
He gave us an awesome opportunity, and with tackle day, and because it was so successful, and because of the weather, and not everybody was able to take advantage of heading over to Fisherman's Processing Liberty Station, they're extending their deals all the way through Black Friday.
Yeah,
I mean,
and so he's got 3 wiggle tails, which is the favorite treat of dogs. 3 for $25. They have also the 3 for $20 on the FP Gourmet rubs. That's right. A great deal. 3 for $20, and then also 10 for $60 on the rubs, which those rubs are just unreal. Awesome. Yeah. I wonder if that includes the Poke Mix. I bet it does.
That stuff is phenomenal.
Oh, the Poke Mix, huh?
That's so good.
Yeah. And the Poke sauce.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah,
it's like just throw it in there and eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah.
You ever pokey up a little albacore now?
We do.
Yeah.
I'm on my last little bag of that stuff from them.
So now the new thing, which I don't know if you have, maybe you haven't, but so they have the Poke Mix, which is the bag that was killer. Now they have like a 1-bottle sauce that's like a mix of all like the wet ingredients that you normally would put in, the rice wine vinegar and soy sauce. So they have a liquid bottle that's just a mix of all that. So you literally now can just throw in I think it's like a tablespoon of one and 2 tablespoons of the other, and it is.
And then you're done.
It's next.
Awesome.
It's next level.
I'm gonna have to go stop.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to stop by Fisherman's Processing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got the lunch bag special. That is a great deal. The show special: pound of smoked fish, 3 pounds of tuna jerky, 3 packs of Applewood smoked cheese for $50. I mean, there's a great deals, and he's extending these deals all the way through the Black Friday, which I guess is a couple more weeks, right? So check them out at the Liberty Station location, or you can give them a call and they'll ship it to you too. Just give them a call at Fisherman's Processing, or check out fishermansprocessing.com on the web. And it's our private boater buddy, our fishdope.com reporter, Captain Mark Wish from Pacific Edge. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Pete, Rick, Aaron. Great show, man. I love hearing all that different slant on stuff. That's fun stuff.
Cool, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah, for sure. So, guys, here we are, mid-November. I don't know how that crept up on us so fast, but just after that little breeze, that northwest breeze, or more of a northwest hurricane we had last weekend, and yet there's still some yellowfin and even a dorado and a skipjack and a yellow and some of that big bluefin still to be caught. Pretty incredible for mid-November. So way out west on that southeast corner of the Cortez and the Tanner both, there's still some of that big bluefin hanging around. Bounced back after the blow, surprisingly. Guys had some 200-pounders. I think maybe a 300-pounder might have been thrown in there. And smaller fish are up on the shallows, the bigger fish are out over the edge. But the weather's up again, chased everybody out of there. So we'll see what happens when it lays back down. But it's getting toward that time of year. Closer to San Diego, still some signal on school-size yellowfin with a few yellows and maybe even a Dorado or two mixed in. But, man, I'm telling you what, guys, it's getting really lucky to find that magic kelp. They're getting very scarce or, trending down maybe toward the hidden a little bit there. But it's looking like that is just about over. Over at Catalina Island, still some good sign of bonita scattered all up and down the front there, a little bit around the back here and there. And some of those bonitas are big ones, man. Some of the guys that 8 to 10 pound fish here this week. And, just beauties. And still a little bit of that yellow mixed in, but the volume of that smaller fish seems to have moved on, so we're just going to be stuck with them big tankers. But, guys, we're getting closer to our late fall, winter squid season. And I got to tell you, fishing that deeper water home guard yellowtail on live squid, that's some fun stuff. So we're definitely seeing that transition stage where water temperatures are trending down, and it's definitely that time of year. And personally, I love fishing that halibut, sea bass, and big yellows on the bait grounds all winter long. I'll take it, no problem.
Yeah, indeed. And, of course, fishdope.com. This time of the year, more than ever, you need fishdope.com. $20 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code Hookup Now. They have it all. Weather, temperature charts, current charts, everything is there. And the fish reports, of course. $20 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code Hookup Now. Lowercase, no space. Hookup Now is your $20 code. And, Mark, how do we find you?
Well, Pete, we're in Huntington Beach. We're on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger. The phone number at the store is area code 714-840-4262. The website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And this week, guys, especially, be sure you call first. We got some stuff going on. I'm going to be at the store a little bit less than normal, so make sure you call before you come by. I'd sure appreciate it.
All right. You bet, Mark. Hey, good luck with that, and we will talk to you next Saturday.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, we got it. We'll see you guys. Take care.
All right, Mark. Thanks very much. Appreciate that.
All right, well, while we're waiting for our buddy Marcos to roll in, got a great text that came through. He said, so I understand that you're a jig boat and do jack pole fishing out of the rack. If that's the case, what are the types of the poles that you guys use?
Actually, the pole that we use the most is the Calistar and Seeker gaff blank.
Okay.
Yeah, that tapered black.
A gaff blank.
Yeah, that's the one. That's our short pole that we use. So
really,
we have some longer poles. JJ got some made in Japan, and like the Taniguchi ones are getting so hard to find these days or whatever. So and those are if we break one, it's like oh man. But yeah, that's the one. That's the standard that we use is that gaff blank. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's a blank that's made for a gaff.
Yeah. It's like a yacht gaff, I guess.
Okay.
What do they call it? Yeah.
It's listed as a gaff blank. We don't sell them ever for guys that want to build them as gaffs anymore. I mean, we have them. You could buy one today at Fisherman's Landing, but like
sure.
that's it. Like I mean, they're just they're listed as a gaff blank, but pretty much the only thing guys use them for are lift poles. I think lift nowadays.
Poles, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, very good. All right,
they're real deal though. Like they're heavy. They're thick wall. I mean, the difference in weight between the 10-foot gaff blank or the 10-foot lift pole versus your traditional 10-foot surface iron. I mean, it's 3 times heavier and bigger diameter around, bigger blank walls. They're the real deal.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for that text. There's another good text. Kurt in Mo Valley says, what is the worst harbor that you've had to enter? We talked a little bit about the weather that you have to deal with up there and some of those harbors that are river mouths that get silted up and stuff like that and break.
The worst crossings I've had have been in Westport. They're probably our worst harbors. Like that Brookings. If you go on YouTube and look up the Brookings crossings, it is gnarly. But I've never been in there in weather, knock on wood. Never had to.
Yeah.
So,
but Westport you have.
Westport I have. Newport gets pretty hairy too.
Yeah.
I guess, and I'm sure there's some other ones.
So is it breaking all the way across?
At times, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
are you entering the harbor or leaving the harbor when it's breaking all the way across?
Yeah. Usually you can find a little channel to get out of. We wait till it calms down a little bit. I mean, some of those old-timers have stories that are just gnarly, like busting out windows and swamping boats. I mean, we've had some close calls crabbing. Like we've had like the deck boards lift up and
you
got steering lines washing back and forth across the deck. Like it gets hairy. Yeah,
man.
Going in and out. Yeah.
I see. I watch some of those videos because it's unbelievable to me how foolish some people can be when it comes to weather like that. You guys, of course, you're doing work and you have the knowledge to do it, and sometimes you just get unlucky, right, and get caught.
Right.
But how does, like, I know you're a surfer, you grew up surfing down here. Did surfing kind of help you watch the water and the waves and stuff like that?
For sure. Yeah, where it's peaking up, jacking up.
Yeah.
And, seeing a little current, where current may be different. You get these little back currents and little eddies and stuff like that.
Sure.
So just keeping an eye on that. Yeah, for sure.
Pretty interesting stuff.
Wild.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, let's continue on with our catch report. We got the man, Marcos from C4 Sport Fishing, is standing by. What's up, Marcos?
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Great.
Like you heard, there's a little bit of lumpy weather out there, so fish counts might be slim today, but overall we've had some great fishing this week. The trivia yesterday, 14 anglers had 70 yellowfin, 22 skipjack, and 48 yellowtail on their one-day trip.
Nice.
Wow. I mean, in the middle of November, they're still doing really well. Pacifica had 9 bluefin on their trip, some bigger ones mixed in there. San Diego still fishing offshore. Yesterday, 1 Dorado, 170 yellowtail. Day before that, 38 yellowfin, 4 Dorado, 18 skipjack, and 117 yellowtail. So fishing is still doing quite well on those full day trips, those 1 days, those overnights, the day and a half. The half day trips, very good bottom fishing. They are picking away, seeing an occasional yellowtail here and there. They had 2 in the afternoon earlier in the week, 1 lingcod and some of those trips, reds, rockfish. So nice fishing overall. Said once this weather blows through here, we'll get back out there on those overnight trips. If you look at our website, seaforthlanding.com, we have trips scheduled through the end of the month. We have trips scheduled into December. So you might be getting some bluefin for Thanksgiving this year.
I think it's going to happen. Buddy. Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, some of those turkeys are breathing a sigh of relief right now. So.
Yeah, for sure. And as we know, this fall time, and then as we head into the winter too, that's typically we just get this flat, calm, kind of mild Santa Ana conditions, like it's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
Mike was talking earlier when he called in from the boat about how much better the weather's looking tomorrow than today. So I know you have boats going tomorrow. If somebody wants to book a trip, how do we get you?
You have a few options. Check the website, seaforthlanding.com. We have the trip scheduled for the half days, the full days, 1 day, day and a half. So we got trips through December. Booger went up for those full day trips through December there, fishing the islands. So definitely check that out. You got plenty of time to get on those full days and get in some of that good fishing, some of those overnights. Give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. You can come down and visit us in person, get a burrito next door, check out the tackle shop, and hop on a boat and go fishing.
Great call, Marcos. Appreciate a great report as always, and we will look forward to talking to you next week.
We'll talk to you then, guys.
Thanks, Marcos. All right, well, that's going to wrap up our catch report today. Sponsored by Anza Knives, handcrafting knives in the USA for over 3 decades. Check out the Fish Pro series and the custom bluefin and yellowfin from Anza Knives. They're made from high-carbon steel, which holds a great edge. They also offer really killer knives for military, law enforcement, and hunting. Check AnzaKnives.com for more details, and check out that Fish Pro series available at Fisherman's Processing.
Indeed. Let's go ahead and jump back in the phones, Rick. They're packed up. I want to talk to Aaron.
100% full. Let's talk to Rich. He's calling us from Bradley this morning. What's up, Rich? Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks. I've got a question for Aaron. I'm sure that with his extensive experience as a long-range captain, that there were sport fishing techniques that he applied to the commercial side. But I'm wondering if he was to come back to the sport boat side, if and when, and I'm sure that it'll happen, the Albacore show up here, what would he bring with him from the commercial side to a party boat passenger that he could apply, or that a passenger could apply that he's learned from his extensive experience now with the Albacore up north?
That's an excellent question.
That's a really good question. And I'm sure I'd come up with a lot more answers if I thought about that for a little bit. But biggest thing is like we're actually running the boat, like gathering up fish. You go through an area of scattered fish, and you can actually just kind of idle through there, and you can gather it up for a long time and get a school built up on you. From where you would, if you just stop on your first strike, you'd maybe catch a couple, but you can just do slow chum lines. You can gather that fish up for a long time.
Oh, no kidding.
What's a slow chum line?
Just like, one every 4 or 5 seconds, something like that. Yeah, just keep some bait going. And it's amazing. Like, you start sometimes, like, right before that bait or that fish wants to switch to bait. Sometimes we get these stops. We just call it like bait barging or walking through. And it's just like, you just gather a school up on you, just going through, a popper here, popper there.
So one little mark on the sonar, there's a fish here, there's a fish there, but there's not a big wad of them.
But you end up gathering it up, and you get quite a school on you. You look back behind you, the sonar, you're like, oh, boy, and you keep picking at them, and you can
That's cool.
get 100, 200 out of it. And there's, a lot of fish. You look down the rack, they're there, so stuff like that. Just being patient with it,
Are you going in a circle? Are you going straight?
It all depends, both. Yeah. Sometimes you're just, especially like when there's puddlers around, you just kind of like, going puddler to puddler, and you kind of gather them up. A couple fish here, a couple fish there. Sometimes you do big, wide circles, stuff like that. You can gather up, get them inside the circle. So
that's cool.
Would it work with yellowfin?
I think so.
Yeah,
I really do. With that scattered yellowfin and stuff like that. I've done it a few times around the boat where you're going, you see puddlers or jumpers, and you keep throwing long chum line and gather it up. I think it could be applied more often for sure.
Well, of course, when you have 20 guys in the water with lines, you can't really idle ahead.
That's what you guys like, guys. Don't cast in yet. Hold on.
Hang on.
Yeah. So, but I definitely think things like that could work for sure.
You'd mentioned something when you're in the rack, you can see them. I mean, can you physically see the school like when you're fishing them in the racks? I mean, are you meaning like you're looking down, like there they are kind of thing?
They're there, and sometimes you don't see them, but you'll see like 4 or 5 come up real quick, that kind of deal, and then like sometimes it's just like a brown wall down there.
No kidding.
But sometimes you see them. I mean, it is like you could walk on them and they will not bite.
No kidding.
Yeah, they'll eat every chum bait. They come up and nose up to your scampi. Like you'll get one on the bait pull every once in a while. It's just like fishing. Like these bluefin, you see these giant schools, you can't get a bite. Same thing happens with albacore.
You think it's not possible? There's too much fish there. It's not possible that I couldn't just put something instantly have one, no matter what, guaranteed every time. And then it's like, what the?
How many times does that happen on bluefin schools, right?
Yeah. Every time.
Yeah, it seems like it, especially when they're foaming up. So when you see that situation, do you do something different to try and motivate them to bite, or is this hopeless?
Yeah, you try and change speed, change direction, chum more, chum less. You try. Sometimes you work, sometimes it's directional. Sometimes they want to bite one way and not another. And sometimes you'll have a school following you, and it's biting pretty good, and then you see another school, you try and change directions to go pick that one up, and you just lose all your fish. And you're just
really?
Like, I should not have turned the boat.
Yeah, sure.
So, and then you kind of see what directions they want, whatever time of day or whatever it is, and you try and keep it doing that.
That's cool, man.
All right, yeah, that's cool. How often do you get into the rack? I mean, I obviously do get in the rack once in a while. When do you hey, you go run the boat? I want some.
I put on autopilot all the time, hop in the rack. I'm up and down those stairs 50 times a day.
Oh, really?
Cool. Yeah. So you try and line it up. So you got on one little foamer, spot of jumpers, and then you get another one lined up. You just kind of get lined up, put it on pilot, and I'm down there on the rack.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And the boat's just steering on autopilot.
On autopilot, yeah.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
That's got to be fun times.
Different being 200 miles offshore and not having 100 skiffs.
Right. Exactly.
Don't have to worry about running into anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's just our group or half our group, and it's, you don't see another boat.
And they're all doing the same thing,
all
probably.
doing the same thing, yeah.
That's cool.
For sure. Is that pretty typical? You have 4 guys on the boat?
Yeah, just our size boat, we're jigging. I just took 2 guys this last year. So it was
like, what about JJ? He's got a little bigger boat, pikey. It's a little bigger.
Yeah, I think he's got 3 guys in the rack and a chummer, so 4 guys. And
4 guys and the captain.
Yeah, and the captain. So
and you've got 2 guys in the rack, a chummer, and yourself.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll bring another guy on, if it's like really good fishing or whatever. So it just depends on the situation. So yeah. Sometimes in go time was like September or October, I'll bring another guy.
Yeah. Rich, thanks a lot for the phone call.
That was great, man. Yeah. All right. How about we jump right back into him and talk to, Daniel from Rancho Cucamonga. What's up, Daniel? Welcome to the show.
How you doing, guys?
What's up, buddy?
Great.
I have a question for Captain Aaron. Hey, how often do you lose your tuna to sharks, or you don't lose any?
Oh, no, we lose some for sure, especially jigging. When it's like good jigging, and obviously you only got 2 guys back there, and you got 14 going at one time. Some are dragging. So we'll drag the long lines and then pull the short lines in, and we'll get some shark bit fish that way and stuff. So we've had sharks come up like under the rack and chase the fish out of the way before, stuff like that. So... as you get into some areas, basically the productive areas, there's going to be tuna, sharks, birds, everything around. So
because there's bait, right?
Because there's bait, squid, whatever. You'll see a bunch of stuff at night. There'll be squid around.
Whales,
porpoise. It's just So those productive areas got a little bit of everything around.
Is it green water up there?
Yeah, so this year was a lot of blue water fishing, a lot. Some years we call it Oregon blue, so it's like blue with like a tint of green to it. I'd say that's where we do most of our fishing. Sometimes really green water. You get surprised, and sometimes they'll get into it for a couple days, and then they back out in the clean water.
Do you ever get that beautiful purple blue water we get down here?
Yeah, especially jigging early when we're offshore. It'll be that purple water. And this year was a lot of blue water fishing. I guess it just depends where that bait's at or that food or whatever they want to be in. But I'd say most over the last 5 years, years, most of our good fishing's been in like what we call Oregon blue, like in a little off blue.
Nice.
What's the hot jig? What's the favorite jig amongst the crew when you're jigging it up?
The Zucker zucchini.
No way.
Yeah.
Zucchini.
Yeah, we troll that a lot.
That's cool.
Especially in calm weather.
Is it the one with the brushes on it?
The broomtail, yeah.
The broomtail.
Dude, this year too on the chain lines we were dragging the Mexican flag, like the old standard colors.
Yeah,
that's so cool to me.
Yeah, well, we use hex heads.
Double hook.
Yeah, we double hook. Yeah, it's barbless double hook.
Barbless double hook.
Yeah.
So the standard Albacore.
Just the same thing that we always use.
Same
before.
thing. We just use heavier line.
So
we use
cool.
like a 200-pound leader, and then this year we just went straight 200-pound. We've tried, using a little heavier main line, lighter leaders, fluorocarbon, this, that, and the other. We just straight 200-pound now.
Yeah,
put it in front of them.
Yeah.
Let them climb on.
That's cool.
That's rad.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot for the call. Good question. Appreciate that. The Iron Man from Lawndale, Gary White, has a question. Where do you sell your catch, and are they fresh or canned?
So all our fish go to cans. We're part of AFA, which is like a group that was put together. Jack Webster and Natalie Webster, are a big part of that. And
that's the American tuna.
American tuna is like that, where they can for part of that. So it works out great for us. We have a set price at the beginning of the season. Natalie is an extremely hard worker getting our fish sold. Our fish goes to Spain or Thailand or overseas or wherever, and she finds those markets, and she does a phenomenal job getting our fish sold.
But 100% canned.
Yeah, 100% canned.
Yeah,
for us,
and is it canned at a particular place in Oregon, or where is it canned?
The American tuna is that fish that goes to there. So only a portion of our fish goes there, and then the rest of it gets sold wherever to different canneries throughout the world.
Oh, so it'll be frozen and then shipped to a cannery somewhere else in the world?
Exactly. So our offload spots, I think we had San Francisco, Long Beach this year. Nowhere in Oregon, I think it was a COVID thing, and then Ilwaco is one of them, and then Westport Seafoods up there in Westport, where we offloaded. So we offload there. It's all frozen. It goes into fiber totes, and then gets into a freezer container, and it gets shipped to wherever it's going to go.
And did you say it was a set price for the year?
Yeah, we have a set price. When we start fishing, it's kind of a set price, so it's nice.
I'm sure.
So it's like if it's phenomenal fishing, a lot of guys get a lot less who aren't a part of AFA.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, when that price goes down.
The old story of like when you can catch as much as you want, they don't give you nearly as much of a price for it. And I'm sure the other scale has applied too. There's times when maybe the market would bear even more, but overall that's got to be a really comfort
for thing. Overall it averages out.
That's great.
I mean, sometimes maybe we get $100 at the time less or something on really tough years, but overall it works out great for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that American tuna, there's nothing like it.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
It's like if you've never had American tuna canned albacore, look for it. I know they have it at Whole Foods. I believe sometimes they have it at Point Loma Seafoods.
I saw it online the other day. It popped up my Instagram or something like that.
Yeah. But if you like a canned albacore, this is like beyond canned albacore.
You will never buy another can of regular, insert major brand name here. Like, it is the bomb.
And it's cool, too, to know that Aaron and JJ and Pat Kavanaugh and all those guys, those are the guys that are catching that fish.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's really cool. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and jump back on the phone.
You got it, man. Everybody's dying to talk to Aaron. How about this time we talk to John? John's calling us from Mira Mesa this morning. Hi, John. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, hey, hi. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, I was wondering, Aaron, if you ever run over schools of other tuna, yellowfin, whatever, do you just ignore that stuff, or do you fish that as well? And if you do, how do you segregate it from the albacore?
Yeah, so we don't have too much yellowfin. I think we've caught a couple up there. We do see schools of bluefin, but those things they don't really bite. We might catch a few here and there, and we just eat them on the boat. I'm waiting for one of those years when we can finish up albacore fishing and then come down here off San Diego and fish that yellowfin and skipjack down here, and we do that. But we haven't had to worry about that, like getting stops on yellowfin up there or anything, but you never know. I mean, we've had 69-degree water, off Coos Bay, catching a little yellowfin. We've seen skipjack up there before.
No kidding.
And stuff like that. So,
and that big bluefin made its way, I don't know if it made it all the way up as far as where you guys were fishing, but I mean, a good ways up California this year. It sounded like those big spots of those 150-pounders. I mean, Half Moon Bay and even farther up the line.
Yeah, JJ off San Francisco was seeing cows on the way home, big spots of them.
Yeah.
We had those me and him were fishing off Crescent City one day, and there was, spots of tailors and finners up of that size fish. We'd seen big schools the other year off of Columbia River.
Can you catch those things in the rack?
I never have.
Yeah.
I mean, some guys have occasionally or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, we've got smaller ones on the jigs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We sometimes you hook something on the jig lines, it's just zing pow.
Can't
just whatever,
stopping them.
Straightened out hooks and stuff. Who
Guess what that was?
Yeah, big bluefin or big eye or something like that. Yeah.
That was really surprised me. You had mentioned that before, that you'd see big eye all the way up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, you know, since I've been around, they're just that fish has been so not available. I mean, are they not necessarily as needing to be in warm water as other fish are, or the water's plenty warm? I mean, that just surprised me that fish would get that far up there.
I know. So, you know, some of those longliners are like 19 Celsius line, which is like 69 degree water. They fish a lot and that outside, and so I mean, it's around. You know, the bulk of that big eye is around the equator. You know, the big schools or whatever.
Sure.
But that fish travels, you know, well up above Hawaii all the way up. So I mean, we used to get it here. A couple of years ago, I ran a trip on the Shogun. We got some at Cortez. You know, they're around, but I think it's just more scattered out. That's why those longliners do good on them. It's not like the schools we used to have. I think that's farther south still.
The fad fishery had a big impact on that.
It did. That was the thing with the juvenile fish, you know, and making a number on that. But that fish still does trickle up. Yeah.
Speaking of fads, you guys ever use fads?
No. We've gotten some stops. Like there was a ball net one year. I was it had a big ball bait on it. We get some, you know, fish on it. You know, you go by a log jig and you maybe get a couple albacore or something like that. But
you see turtles up there?
Yeah, we see those big leatherbacks.
They're
giant.
Yeah,
really. I mean, it's first time I saw one, I was like,
things are huge.
Yeah. It looks like a whale.
That's cool.
Yeah,
got to see some pretty unique stuff.
Yeah, cool. All different sorts of whales, and finless porpoise, and all sorts of stuff I'd never seen before. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
finless porpoise.
Yeah, they look like big black leeches. They're crazy. Yeah.
Wow,
hell,
that's bizarre.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Bill from Encinitas is an old friend, old passenger with you. Said stoked to hear Aaron on the show. Started long range fishing with him on the RP. When he moved to the Shogun, the whole roster of guys went with him. What can I say? The man is fishy and draws folks with him. Russ, Renee, the guys on the Shogun, solid legacy, and that's for sure. Yeah, I know everybody misses you in the long range fleet. There's no doubt about it. But you're doing what you love. Yeah, moving around, and who knows what the future brings, right?
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, Frank's still running boats at 75, right?
Yeah.
I don't imagine you're going to want to be running a boat running an Albacore boat at 75.
Yeah, who knows? Hopefully I'm retired and hunting by then.
Yeah. We'll spend 75 in a tree stand somewhere.
Yeah, indeed.
Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great info with Captain Aaron. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
If you're looking for a high-quality cocktail that's also easy to enjoy on your next fishing trip, check out Cutwater Spirits' lineup of canned cocktails. Cutwater's master distiller and co-founder, Yusuf Cherney, is a hardcore fisherman. In fact, he developed Cutwater with all his favorite adventures in mind. Yusuf takes Cutwater's award-winning spirits, uses them to make real cocktails, and then puts them into cans so you can take them anywhere. It's like they were made for fishing because they were actually made for fishing. Check out their popular canned margarita made with real tequila, the zesty vodka mule, or the spicy Bloody Mary, which has some serious bite. They also make super refreshing vodka sodas in grapefruit, lime, and cucumber flavors. Just crack the can and enjoy a bar-quality cocktail even when there's no bar in sight. Back at the dock or at your evening anchorage in Catalina, Cutwater cocktails are exactly what you need for your next fishing trip. You can check out all 18 of Cutwater's canned cocktails at cutwaterspirits.com and then look for them at your local liquor store. Then go ahead and set your cocktail free. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hey, it's time to talk about a great spot where it's always biting, Point Loma Seafoods. I was down there yesterday and checking out the case. Such a beautiful case here in November of all kinds of great fresh fish that you can take home, and of course, food. But one thing I was checking out really carefully was the smoked fish case. You've never seen a smoked fish case like the one at Point Loma Seafoods, and I discovered a new radical favorite of mine, the hamachi collars and the smoked hamachi. Have you had that?
I don't think I have. Not a smoked collar from there, really.
I was talking to Terry about it. Have you had those?
It's good. And that salmon they got.
The salmon. The
squaw candy.
Yeah, the
squaw candy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's just one aspect of Point Loma Seafoods, is smoked fish.
I had a fun experience down there, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit. It was really fun. Darren and I from the tackle shop went down there to get lunch, as we do at least once a week. And we looked over to the right, and the guy that was ordering fish was John Christensen. so the owner of Point Loma Seafoods, he was buying grouper. I mean, he was just going. Yeah. He was picking up fish for dinner that night, and the whole case of everything in there. You'd think, he's going to get swordfish or halibut, but he said that fresh Mexican grouper was his favorite thing in the whole case.
Yeah, well, check it out. Everything's fresh at the freshest thing in town, Point Loma Seafoods, right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma.
sport fishing, not just for dad anymore. At Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, kids fish free every Sunday. Free half-day fishing trip and clinic free for kids 12 and under every Sunday at Dana Wharf. Join the Dana Wharf Kids Club and get over $100 of really cool stuff like 2 free fishing trips, a free whale watch trip, and more. Dana Wharf, everyone's favorite since 1971. Click DanaWharf.com or visit them in the Dana Point Harbor, the bass capital of the West, and only minutes from the 5 freeway in Orange County. DanaWharf.com, where kids fish free.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know: CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
Seakeeper, the leader in marine stabilization, has launched its newest, smallest, and most radically different model, the Seakeeper 1. Now, for the first time, stabilization is available for boats as small as 23 feet. The Seakeeper 1 is designed to eliminate up to 95% of boat roll-on vessels 23 to 30 feet with a fresh new look. The Seakeeper 1 has a compact flush mount installation and runs on 12-volt battery power. Installation is a breeze. It can fit under almost any seat, and now your skiff can enjoy the comfort and enjoyment that only a Seakeeper-equipped boat can provide. Check out the Seakeeper demo boat at upcoming shows and arrange a free test ride. Seakeeper has changed the lives of many Southern California anglers, including Pete Gray, and will allow you to stay on the fishing grounds when others need to head back to port. Visit Seakeeper.com/take-a-ride to arrange a demo. Eliminate up to 95% of boat roll on your trailer boat. Seakeeper. Once you feel it, you'll never boat without it.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here talking albacore, talking crab this morning. A fun morning. Been very busy. If you want to get your shot, still plenty of time. 833-288-0973. And don't forget the text. Lots of great text coming through on the Let's Talk Hookup app. Want to remind you, this portion of the show is sponsored in part by our great friends at Terrafin. Focus your offshore fishing in the most productive areas by using Terrafin.com. They have temperature, chlorophyll, and a whole lot more. And with Terrafin Mobile, you can download the latest charts and take them with you on your mobile device. Terrafin is the professional's choice for accurate information. Check Terrafin.com.
And here, Aaron, talking about temperature charts and current charts, man. You got to have it, right?
It's key, and you're going to save more in fuel than you're going to pay, for the Terrafin deal, like being able to go look at an area, like know what's going on. So it's really good. And once you get keyed on the water they want to be on, and you can stay on it with that Terrafin. It's a great tool.
Yeah, it is. And is that where you get your currents too?
Yeah, currents on there. We use a different program up there, but I still at the dock. I still have Terrafin. I still use it every day I'm at the dock. Yeah.
And the cool thing is on the mobile app, you can just take it with you on your phone and your iPad and everything. Yeah, it's a great service and inexpensive too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go ahead and jump back in those phones, Rick.
You got it. They're jam packed up. Next up, we're talking to Bob. He's calling us from Lakeside this morning. What's up, Bob? Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great show. Really kind of a change of pace there a little bit.
Yeah, thanks.
Aaron, what is the biggest albacore you've caught, and also what is the most unusual fish that you have caught that really surprised you?
Biggest albacore we've caught commercially, I'd say somewhere in the mid-40s, something like that. No big giants. And we caught running the sport boat. I think it was the first year of the Shogun. We caught like a 60-pounder in the middle of a bluefin school, just random stuff like that.
Wow.
And the weird fish. Like those oil fish and escalar when we were fishing on the sport boats, for fishing bluefin with the flat falls and stuff like that. Those opas, that's, we didn't used to catch very many of those. Stuff like that's pretty cool. Those, what we catch up there, too, we mess around fishing after dark, trying to get them on the jigs. And we catch those mongchong, silver pomfrets. Yeah, catch those things. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Those are supposed to be super good eating, right?
Yeah, caught some lancet fish and like some weird stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Different deal.
Yeah.
Stuff coming into light and just jig them up way offshore.
Just jig them up way offshore.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Do you ever catch albacore at night?
Like not like in the middle of the night, but they'll definitely bite into the dark sometimes. You have fish following you, you stop, and then we drop down, like a tatty 9 or whatever, a little chrome jig or mega bait or a little flat fall or something like that.
Catch them up.
Yeah, you catch another 10 or 15 or something like that. Yeah.
All right.
They all add up.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Captain cool. Art Taylor from the Searchers on the line. Good morning, Art.
Hey, Art.
Good morning, Pete, Rick, Aaron. How's it going?
Good morning.
Great.
We have, the last opportunity to fish on the Searcher here on day-and-a-half trips coming up. They're extended day-and-a-halfs, leaving at 11 o'clock in the morning, so you can get out to that bluefin, right after dark and do some flat-fall fishing. So departing Thursday, fishing Friday next week, and departing Saturday, fishing Sunday next weekend, and returning Monday. So last chance to fish on the Searcher in 2020. We're going to go into a maintenance period, but we want to get another shot at those big bluefin, so we got the boat scheduled.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Sounds like
we're
fun.
hoping to get enough reservations to go.
That sounds like more like a day and three-quarter trip.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. They're the extended ones. We're leaving early and trying to get as much fishing time out there as possible.
Super comfortable ride on the Searcher stateroom accommodations. Does that include the food, too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it includes foods. They can book directly through Fisherman's Landing. Go to fishermanslanding.com or call 619-221-8500 and make a reservation, and hopefully we'll get those trips out to finish out 2020.
Yeah, so again, fishing, leaving Thursday, fishing Friday, leaving Saturday, fishing Sunday. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the 19th through the 21st, and the 21st through the 23rd.
And the long-range forecast looks very, very good for that. So get on the Searcher. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be fantastic. And what an opportunity. So those will be booking through Fisherman's Landing?
That's correct, yeah. Fishermanslanding.com or 619-221-8500.
All right. Captain Art Taylor, good way to wrap up the season. Go catch some 300-pounders, okay?
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right. Well, hey, let's jump right back into the phones. Talk to John. John's calling us from Los Alamitos this morning. What's up, John? Welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys. It's another great show. My question is when you're trolling 13 lines, what's the closest trolling feather you troll from the boat, and what's the last one you troll?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. So early on, we have 3 longer lines, we call them, on the outsides. We stagger those. We start at like 16 fathoms, 16, 14, 12. And then we have 3 chain lines on the outside. So the closest one of the boats, it's straight off the corner with about a fathom leader on it. And then we have actually what we call captain's lines. It's off midship of the boat, and it's maybe like 10 feet off the sides of the boat with like a fathom leader on it, something like that. So they're close. I mean, when they're biting, they're on those short lines.
They're passing up the stern to bite a
they're eating those chain lines. So it's just a piece of stainless chain, maybe like a foot long. It just keeps the jig down in the water and causes a little splash and stuff like that. So those short lines, when they're biting, they basically let everything else drag. They're just pulling the short lines.
Okay. Is that kind of like a downrigger almost?
Yeah, it's just it's just a piece of heavy chain. Just keeps it down in the water.
Yeah.
You know, when you turn, it keeps everything kind of separated and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not deep or anything, but it's just not splashing up on the surface.
Right,
a couple
exactly.
of feet down kind
and
of thing.
And sometimes we'll use those dive boards. You know, they go like like maybe 3 feet down or something like that. And when it's a little scratchier, for whatever reason, those tend to get bit. They're kind of a pain sometimes, popping out of the water. But we'll use those earlier on. But when they're biting, we just use those chains.
What is it like when you get on the right school and there's one on every jig? Like, it's got to be some chaos.
It's 14 at a time.
Yeah. It's exciting. Yeah, and it's just like like you literally drop the chain back in the water. As soon as it comes tight, you got another one on there.
There's one on it.
Yeah, there's one on it.
Wow.
That's fun.
And are you pulling these things in by hand?
Yeah, we have pinch pullers for the longer ones. They're like a little like a little lobster block kind of thing on the stern. So we'll throw a long line in there, and then you can go pull your chain line real quick, shake that off. By the time you're done, that one's next to the boat. You pull it on, that sort of thing.
That's rad.
A lot going on.
A lot going on.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Dan from Castle Rock, Colorado, listening on the Let's Talk Hookup app, has a question for Aaron. Do you ever fish the Midway Zone, and have you found fish as far north as British Columbia?
Yeah, we don't go out there anymore. Out out west, they call it, so Western Pacific. That was a big fishery for a long time. Some of the big jiggers still go. Take a look, like the Marina's sitting right here.
Yeah.
Like some of those boats.
Captain Joel Ralston.
Yeah, so they'll go take a look at that area sometimes. And it used to be phenomenal fishing, Emperor Seamount and all that out there, above Midway and all that.
Is that where that Tombow comes from? That's like the giant deep water albacore?
Yeah, so that's more longline caught.
Okay.
That's like in lower latitudes or whatever, like in the 20 latitudes and stuff like that. But and then my last trip that we made, we were up in Canada. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there was good fishing up there. We had our deal close to Westport, and there was a lot of the jig boats are well up in there into Canada. They're actually they made a trip off Southeast Alaska.
Wow.
They're up there like 54, 55 line, something like that. So they were up there.
That's a long way.
Yeah, our last trip was in Canadian waters. Yeah.
So you're allowed to fish in Canada?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just got to check in. Yeah, we check in and check out, but we're allowed to fish up there.
And they're allowed to fish down here.
42 boats are allowed to fish the U.S. waters from, I believe it's June 15th to September 15th.
42 Canadian boats.
42 Canadian boats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a treaty.
Yeah, the treaty. They jig only, I think it probably works out more well for them than it does for us. We're not in Canada too much, but, it works out. So,
yeah.
When you need to go, you can.
When we need to go, we can.
Yeah, and there's more fish down in the U.S. waters than in the Canadian waters.
Especially early. Yeah, especially early. Sometimes late, there's up there. But there's a lot of traffic up there when there's fish. So you got all the other Canadian boats that aren't coming into the U.S. up there.
Oh,
so
sure.
We try and stick it out. So, find our own little zone somewhere down here. Sometimes we find fish, even when it's bait fish, there may be fish along the beach close, but then you find these little areas of bait offshore and it'd be really good all by ourselves. So we try and find stuff like that if we can.
Sure. Do you guys ever work with the Canadian groups or are you pretty much?
Our group is very tight knit.
Yeah, very tight. Yeah.
So, we don't.
How many total boats? I mean, if there's 42 Canadian boats, how many U.S. boats could be fishing this fishery?
I think who actually have like offshore permits, like higher migratory species permits. I think it's around 500. I don't know how many are actually fishing, but I mean, I've been in areas, especially our first year, it was pretty tight little areas. There's, I'd say a couple hundred boats. But
couple hundred boats.
I mean, on the radar, they're all spread out past 12 miles in all directions kind of deal.
Sure.
But, yeah, so sometimes it gets a little crowded, especially jigging, and then we kind of spread ourselves out later in the season.
It's a lot of pressure on the fish.
That's why it's got to be nice when you are a couple hundred miles offshore. I'm sure it's got to thin the crowd out at least a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And it's always... We're always like, there's got to be something better over here or over there. So sometimes it works out for us. We go find some fish to ourselves, and other times you just got to mix it up and you got to do your thing and scrape up your fish you can.
What about the old story? You don't leave fish to find fish. How true is that?
That's a tough one for me because I'm always like, man, there's got to be something better. And it's like, sometimes you got to be patient, but other times it really pays off to go off and look.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So you just throw the dice.
Throw the dice.
That's cool.
I've been burned and I've been greatly rewarded for it.
Yeah,
too, so.
For sure. Always better to find your own deal.
Yeah,
indeed. Let's go ahead and jump back in the. You got one.
Well, yeah, we got a great text. This is going back to Aaron's sport fishing days. You got to do everything from local to long range in between. If you could pick one thing as your favorite sport fishing fish to catch, what would it be?
Bluefin by far.
No kidding.
Bluefin.
It's I just the challenge of getting on a school, especially when it's. Offshore, and it's like, man, if you find that one right school, you're gonna have an all-day drift and just have it like that. Like finding those things was my favorite. But don't get me wrong, I loved like when we were fishing Cedros Bonitas, all that yellowtail action, surface iron stuff. That was awesome. We had that bigger yellowfin, find those schools and breezers and little turn schools, stuff like that. It was fun. I mean, there was a lot of fun fishing we did. That's the thing about long range. You get to do so many different types of fishing.
Yeah.
Even in like a 5-day or an 8-day trip. It's pretty cool, so.
What about the days we used to be able to fish the Riviera Haydos Islands?
That was awesome, too. I mean, what's a more beautiful spot than Clarion to go be able to fish?
Totally.
And then the fishing I saw, especially when I was on deck with Roy running the boat down there at Hurricane Bank, I mean, it was just unbelievable fishing. I mean, just it's hard to pinpoint such all these good trips, but it's just some amazing experiences down there.
What's it like fishing with Captain Roy Rose?
That guy's just unreal fisherman.
I
mean, he's the
just has a special sense.
He does, and he's just he's not afraid to try anything, and he's just like always figures out a way to catch. I mean, maybe biased because I worked for him for so long, but he's just an absolutely amazing fisherman.
Yeah.
And no matter what he does, he catches.
Yeah, that's cool.
Catfish in the river or yellowfin at the river.
Matter, right?
He's got something wired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Loomis always told a story about him where he had somebody in his family that fished muskie in some area back in the Midwest where you're lucky to catch a fish. You're lucky to catch 2 a season, and he went back with a handful of surface irons, had like 10 fish in a trip or something, and everybody freaked out about it. That guy just if it swims, he figures out how to catch them.
Exactly.
Usually better than everyone else.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Another quick question from Carl in Norwalk. We talked about using glass poles. You still use Calcuttas?
No.
Or bamboo?
We don't. Yeah. No, this, I think it was Herb Gale was given some fiberglass poles. This is probably back in the 70s or something like that. They were Hurricane Bank, and they were reluctant to try them. And then when the Mexican crew back then finally tied some up on a slow day and caught some fish, it was like, oh, man, like this is something. So those fiberglass, you just really can't beat it. Yeah. I mean, it's compared to the other ones. And then, the Calcutta gets soft after a while, wet and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fiberglass is the way to go for sure.
It should be like the same thing with your fishing rod now. Like, I mean, you used to use a piece of split bamboo, when that was the thing,
right.
But you would never trade it in for your CalStar Graphiter today.
No way. Yeah, and glass and everything like that. But your poles are glass.
They're glass. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could.
Are they composites sometimes? Or?
I think it would work good if you could. They get banged around a lot.
Say, you got to figure out the durability
so you'd have to have
part.
like a glass on the outside kind of deal, but maybe some sort of like graphite core would probably work really good. But I mean, we're banging them off the canopy, and they're sometimes you got to throw your pole down and grab another one, and they get banged around pretty good.
Pow.
Yeah.
How much gear do you go out with on a trip? Like, how many poles do you go bait fishing with?
We've broken some long ones. I'd say only in the last 4 years, broken 4 or 5 long poles, but I've never broken like one of those CalStar Seeker ones.
No kidding.
Never broke one of those. We do here and there,
sure, but it's not. That's not a big thing.
Not a big thing. We got some spares, you know what I mean. And there's like we have some poles we haven't even touched in 5 years. We got the crew likes the ones that they like.
That was gonna be my next question. Does everybody have theirs? Like, dude, Aaron, don't get off my rod, man. This is mine.
Yeah, they all tape it how they want. Everyone's got a different grip and all that. So they tape it how they want to tape it, with a grip and all that. And they, they have their little customized pole and all that. So
that's cool.
Gotcha. Well, let's go ahead and jump in the phones.
You got it, man. Ray and Santa Ana's up next on Let's Talk Hookup. What's up, Ray?
Yeah, I was just wondering, when you guys are jack pulling for the tuna, what jigs do you use, and what is the biggest tuna you've jack pulled?
The biggest tuna we've jack pulled on that about 40-something pound albacore, something like that. And we use this barbless lead head. It's kind of like it's got a metal jacket on it, lead on the inside, and it's a barbless hook that's kind of bent out. There's different sizes. There's little skippy squids all the way up to they used to use for real big tuna and stuff like that. So we use number 15 size on it. It's kind of hard, maybe 4.
Pretty much the same ones like the old tuna seiners used to use back in the day.
Yeah, the old bait boats. The same thing.
The old bait boats.
They used to be the Mount Fuji ones, and now there's like a knockoff of that. It's basically the same exact thing, but instead of using chicken feathers, we use scampies now.
Scampies.
Yeah, we use
instead of
scampies
chicken feathers.
Yeah, they're durable. They're real stretchy, hard scampies.
What kind of tape do you tape them on with?
Just medical tape.
Just
like you get from Walmart.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. We just buy a couple cases of that at the beginning of the season, and that's it.
Yeah, and it lasts. How long does that scampi last?
Yeah, like 50, 100 fit. Probably more than that. It's sometimes they get a little chewed up, and the guys keep them in their pouch on their waders. So if one gets messed up, or you rip a tail or something like that, or your leader gets messed up, it's a pigtail swivel. They just take it off, throw it on the deck, put a new one on. They're back in the water.
Okay. You already have them re-rigged.
Or they'll have a couple poles right there ready to go. So if they break one off, they just grab another pole and go for it.
But still, you'll get 50 fish out of one scampi?
At least, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to think about. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure some have caught well over a couple hundred.
Wow.
Like that, yeah.
Think about how many times you shook your head because you had a bite from a calico bass or ripped your tail off your swim bait. You're talking about 100 albacore on one scampi.
So we talked about competition between captains and boats. Is there competition in the rack between the fishermen?
The guys are on it. One guy's getting the other guy. You see him. You can see their body language. And I have deck cameras, and they're like all pissed off. Yeah, it's like,
that's cool.
Yeah,
it's like, what's wrong with me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, indeed. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Hey, let's jump right back into him. Talk to Jim. He's calling us from National City. What's up, Jim?
Hey, good morning, guys. Another great show. Hey, this question, I got a couple, is for the skipper. if you were going to send a group from San Diego, what harbor would you fish out of? Like, if I wanted to go on a sport boat to catch albacore, Newport Harbor, Crescent City, where would you send somebody up there to catch albacore?
Westport, Washington. That's where I would go
That's
out of.
The spot.
Yeah, yeah. The Miss Magoo.
Is that southern
It's
Washington?
like in the middle, kind of.
Middle, okay.
Yeah, it's in the middle. But Westport, they got bait there. I mean, there's restaurants. It's a cool little harbor.
That's
but
cool.
That's the place you want to go out of. Yeah, there's several Delta-style boats that run out of there.
More reminiscent of our style of fishing.
Yeah, for sure. They got bait tanks, and all that. So, yeah, they're like little smaller charter boats.
That's
but
cool.
yeah, sometimes, especially in September, there's usually some fish right out of Westport you can go catch, or down off the river, something like that. But yeah, if I were to pick a landing on the whole coast, it would be Westport.
And like you say, there's a cool town that goes along with it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you spend some time in Westport? Then?
Yeah, that's basically the easiest place for us to offload. The offload there, Westport Seafoods, it's the easiest to go through. El Waco's a great one too, but it's just easier for us. We take our trucks up there, so we go get groceries and do whatever when we're in and stuff like that, and it just works out better for us.
And when you're catching your bait, are you catching it right there in the harbor?
In the harbor,
inside the harbor.
Yep. Yeah, right there.
Are you saying? And you're seining it a lot like?
Yeah, it's a Lampara. So it doesn't purse on the bottom. It's got wings and it's got a big sack. So
okay. Yeah. Did you have to? Was that a learning experience?
Yeah,
it's like fishing with a net.
It's still a learning experience. Yeah.
I'll bet.
It's an art, right?
Yeah, and those guys have been doing it forever, and they're so good at it. Doing it for years in their crew.
I'm sure. I mean, you've been fishing with a sonar and catching tuna forever. That's what you do, and I'm sure there's major differences between albacore and bluefin and everything else, but that's still, you're doing the same thing, just a little bit different. Fishing with a net that's just a whole different different deal.
Yeah, and there's so many little things that can go wrong. Getting snagged up or this or roll over it. So it's a learning curve every time we do it, pretty much. But yeah.
How much bait can you hold?
We hold about 400 scoops.
Well, so quite a bit.
Yeah.
And how long will 400 scoops last you?
We can fill the boat on that, no problem.
Really?
Yeah. We'll hold like 38 ton, basically. Yeah, maybe a little bit more small fish, but it depends on how the fishing is too.
Yeah.
We filled the boat and had well over 100 scoops left, and then we've only caught 20 ton and ran out of every piece of bait on the boat. It just depends on how fishing is.
Yeah.
I know we have fired like a million questions at you.
Yeah,
it's just so fascinating. But like the last one I want to what do you do about food for 30 days? And the only reason like produce only lasts so long, like how do you go about that? You said your earlier trips were real long like that.
Right. Like we try and put some cabbage on there so we just have something after a while, but run out of produce, and then a lot of it's like frozen veggies. We have two big chest freezers, so we do a lot of stir fries and we like pork loin, I don't know, every other day or something like that. So it's like, we just go to the store, the guys buy whatever they want to buy, and just we stock up. So we only have 4 guys on the boat. It's not too bad.
That's
we have
true.
2 big chest freezers and a freezer inside. So,
for sure.
And we eat fish and whatever.
Yeah. Change it up a little bit.
Change it up. Yeah.
This is great, man. This is a lot of fun. Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out what Lucky Guy's going fishing. He's got a full day trip on the San Diego out of Seaforth coming your way. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
One of the dream trips for most anglers is Alaska. There are so many lodges. How do you make a choice? It's easy. Choose the one most Let's Talk Hookup listeners return to time after time. Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, and the finest charter captains in Sitka. All for the ultimate value. One visit and you will understand why nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. Sitka is famous for some of the best runs of salmon in Alaska. And if giant Alaskan halibut is your target, the expert captains at Kingfisher Charters know the hot spots and can put you on a fish of a lifetime. Plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod are there too. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. It's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except tips. It is truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136, or check kingfishercharters.com.
When you put on a pair of Maui Jim sunglasses, the world begins to look different. Colors are more vivid, contrast is clearer, details are crisper. Wherever your vision leads you, beauty follows. With polarized lenses that eliminate glare and enhance color, Maui Jim sunglasses won't change the world. They'll change the way you see it. Color, clarity, detail. Maui Jim. For local and long-range fishing, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among seasoned or novice anglers. But Islander Charters is much more than great fishing. They also do incredible Guadalupe white shark diving trips as well as a schedule of kayak mothership trips. You need to check out the Islander on their website, islander-charters.com. The Islander is San Diego's leader when it comes to 2 to 5 day fishing. Watch the website for trips and adventures available. Experience the Islander difference. Visit islander-charters.com for all the details.
Fillet knives shouldn't be disposable. Introducing Afco fillet knives that are built to last. Designed in collaboration with Boker, Germany, Afco knives feature 4116 German stainless steel, bonded with titanium nitride to ensure optimum corrosion resistance and exceptional edge retention. A non-slip TPR handle maintains a firm grip when processing game fish. Premium in every sense, Afco fillet knives are available in multiple length options to provide the right tool that gets the job done season after season. Fillet knives from Afco. Any fish, any water.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. All right, hey, big winner. Congratulations goes to Mike from Rosemead. You are going fishing on board the San Diego out of Seaforth. Mike, congratulations. Not a better ride to go fishing on right now than the San Diego.
Indeed. Man, what a fast 2 hours.
This is crazy, right?
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's just really great. And thank you very much. I know you have no agenda to promote anything anymore because you're just an albacore fisherman now and a crab fisherman, and we just appreciate like heck your time.
That was rad, buddy.
No problem. My pleasure.
Super fun.
That was awesome.
Super fun.
Really fun. And so now you're headed crabbing.
Yep. Probably I'll be taking off day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So we'll go see what we can do.
How many ton of crab will you catch?
And we try and aim for over 100,000 pounds a year.
100,000 pounds a year.
So
that's a lot of crab.
That's a lot
of crab.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well,
man.
good luck to you. Stay safe, and hope you get that big buck.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice job, Aaron. That's fun, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Thank you. Thanks to Adam in the studio for all he does. Sure appreciate everything he's doing on his end with the phone calls and running the board and all that. And of course, our main guy Adam with our Let's Talk Hookup app. Thanks to Adam. He's the guy that invented the text the show deal, and that's been a real nice addition. Thanks, Adam Clark, for all you do. And thank you out there. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. Captain Mike Pritchard from the Tribute will be here right here in the World Headquarters. Thanks for listening today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.